Podcast Punkt. Viens, divi. Viens, divi. Viens, divi. Viens, divi. Viens, divi. Man vajag topmodeli sievu, kuras seksapils ir kliedzoša, bet es liktu viņai slēpt to kā slepkavības ieroci. Ļautu viņai staigāt tikai ar debiju paranžu, lai neviens neredz viņas veču medību talantu seksa laikā iepļaukāt, kā netīru vazaņķu, un šī ņemt augsts nots, kā Elīna Garanč. Es turētu pat harēm, kā Emīrs vai Karals, un tur nebūtu krokodīlu vai neglītas ragans. Es arī bez zaķu magnētu varu nokoļīt pārīt, jo es audzēju bārdiņu, braucu uz bāriņa Hārlī, bet atpakaļ jau dodos ar Bārbiju uz krāniņu. Tev ir vil? Es atnākšu uz pārtī, kā Čārlijs Mensons, pirmkārt izdzeršu to viskiju visu, tad sākšu tur izgriezt un izsist visus, bet līķus pametīšu suņiem kā frisbee disku. Man patīk iet uz klubiem un dzirdīt tās mauciņas, kamēr viņas visas ir ķirsī kā kauliņi. Tad es viņas velku tā viltīgu zautiņu, man patīk hedonisks fiškas un erotisks kiskas, kas nedod viņas pist, bet es paņem ar spēku. Man ellē gaida sots, ko es saņemšu par grēku, jo es ienešu šķīstītavā kaņepes un krēku. Man nevajag rokas, jo es tevi paņemu ar repu. Tā ir mistika, kā es grozu vārdus kā kickflips. Slepkavības scēnas priekš manis ir kā pikniki, jo es ēdu līķus tā kā sarkofāgi. Beigta miesa priekš manis ir kā marmelādi. Man pa barabānu es ārdos vakarā, pa kvartālu garām bāram ar vākot karavānu, velkot artrosi pavadājis farkopa narkomāns, kamēr viņi pārto par karbonādu. To redzot, jūs visi kļūstat kartonbāli, tava seja būs bez krāsas kā argona gāzes, tais pauzi kā kerčs. Un tad es griežu vārdus virpulī kā smerčs, man smēles mežs plēš mežģīns kā vējš mežs, kā lesbis cenās, lesbis vēlās un mēli pa pežu, kamēr mežģi mēlās. Stop bremzes lēnāk, mentu sētā bēgam? Nē, dirsā paraut tos gomiks, es skrienu ātrāk kā musari var pabraukt ar bobiku. Tu esi lelle kā tofiks, ej ellē man pofigu uz tevi un visu tavu LV hophipu. Esmu vilks, kas ir iznācis no meža uz kūti, tava peža to jūt, tā kā deža bļet vūtu, vari sajust to gaisā kā Phils Collins. Tu nervozēs, uzvilks kā preži uz nūjas, mēs dedzinam būdas, ne, mēs nezinām kļūdas. Lielība ir nevietā, jo letiņi reti bliež, tu triec gājējus ar 7-4-5, bet es triecu debeskrāpjus ar 7-4-7 radīt sociālismā. Kā AK-47, tu tiksi apraksts dzīves un panikos kapā, savās dusmās būdams smieklīgs kā saniknot šakāļi. Tavs bēru sludinājums būs anekdošu lapā, tavai dzīvei nav vērtības, to vari droši pakāst. Jūs esat kā parafīns, kas uz prīmusiem kūst, man rīmas kā antifrīzes uz mīnusiem plūst. No Teotivakanas līdz pat Kvalalumpurai manas metaforas un rīmas samaļūs putrā. Tavs naids pret mums tikai padara mūs krutāks. Ko? Podcast Punkt. Viens, divi. Viens, divi. Viens, divi. Viens, divi. Viens, divi. Man vajag topmodeli sievu, kuras seksapils ir kliedzoša, bet es liktu viņai slēpt to kā slepkavības ieroci. Ļautu viņai staigāt tikai ar debiju paranžu, lai neviens neredz viņas veču medību talantu seksa laikā iepļaukāt.
Iced out teeth on the iced out whip with the limousine tints, you can suck my dick. I don't wanna wait now, but I know you gon' make me. Who you wanna hate now? Pretty soon you gonna hate me.
Goth Boy Clip.
Get into the cake now. All the hate don't faze me. All the money that I make now, I never let it change me. I don't wanna wait now, but I know you gon' make me. Who you wanna hate now? Pretty soon you gonna hate me. Can't see the cake now. All the hate don't faze me. All the money that I make now, I never let it change me. Lil' Bo Peep with a brand new bitch in the back of the club with the Goth Boy clip. Iced out teeth on the iced out whip with the limousine tints, you can suck my dick. First switch up when you in the Benz truck. Always want fuck till the bitch good luck. Always want fuck cause it just came up. Drugs in my nose, good drugs in my cup. Look at my face when I fuck on your waist, cause we only have one conversation a week. That's why your friends always hating on me. Fuck them, no, I did this all by myself. Matter of fact, I ain't never asked no one for help, and that's why I don't pick up my phone when it ring. None of my exes is over the peak. Nobody flexing as much as I be. That's why she text me and tell me she love me. She know that someday I'll be over the sea, making my money and smoking my weed. I think it's funny, she opened up to me, get comfortable with me once I got it coming. I love her, she love me, I know that I'm nothing like someone the family want me to be. If I find a way, would you walk it with me? Look at my face while you talking to me, cause we only have one conversation a week. Can I get one conversation at least? Shout out to everyone making my beats. You helping me preach, this music's the only thing keeping the peace when I fall into pieces. Look at the sky tonight, all of those stars have a reason to shine, a reason like mine, and I'm falling to pieces. Look at the sky tonight, all of those stars have a
This phone costs $100, and what do you get for that? A 10-core CPU, 21 megapixel camera, 4 gigabytes of RAM, and it doesn't end there. This is one of the most exciting videos we've ever made on the channel. Let's get right into it. Alright, the phone in question is the disastrously named Li Echo LE S3X626. And naming aside, for $100, this phone is so good, it feels like you're cheating. The unboxing experience, as you probably guessed given the price, is on the bland side. We've just got a charging brick, USB Type-C cable, and underneath that a headphone jack adapter, because unfortunately this phone has skipped that option. Taking a look at the body of the smartphone, it is light but sturdy. It feels firm in the hand and there is zero creaking due to that aluminium frame. The phone is fairly slim and also has a somewhat refreshing design language. You can see those completely flat sides and their sharp transition into the curved rear alongside these polished accents give the feeling of a no-nonsense, straight-to-business handset. In fact, I'd go as far to say that when you compare it to an average $100 smartphone, this is like a Lamborghini to their smart car. There's also a mirror finish on the logo and the fingerprint scanner, which makes for an unusual but strangely impressive feature. It's also unique from the front, with seemingly no border on either side of the phone, giving it almost a futuristic edgeless feel. Whilst I do think the antenna bands could have been a little bit more seamlessly integrated, it is tough to complain about the way the phone looks. Okay, we're going to get straight into the meat of it. The X626 is packing a 10-core Helio X20, and when you combine that with 4GB of RAM, you get a really responsive system. Browsing the Play Store, flicking through home pages, even application loading times are often indistinguishable from top-tier flagships. Now, the device comes with 3 backlit capacitive keys that are built into the body itself, which some people like because it doesn't intrude on that display, and some people don't like because they're a little bit less versatile. On-screen buttons can be adapted, they can change depending on the context of the application, but these ones are stuck there. Very occasionally, if you push the phone too hard, if you try and download 8 or 9 different applications whilst flicking between multiple apps, the phone has been known to hang. It's frozen on me 2 times, but simply quitting the application and starting again has always solved that problem. It benchmarks pretty well too, scoring just under 100,000 points on Antutu, and this translates beautifully into gaming. Just about every, even top-tier 3D title runs fluidly, and you're getting nearly a full 60 frames per second on them. Storage-wise, the base model comes with 32GB, and unfortunately, no room for an SD card. Given that about 24GB of this is available for your applications, you will have to be somewhat selective with what content you download, but it is still a fair bit of space. The camera is where things are really taken to the next level, because this really is a 21-megapixel sensor. It produces bright, bold, and crisp images, and the refocus time here is lightning fast. It copes surprisingly well in lower lighting conditions, and the front 8-megapixel camera is solid and produces natural-looking photos too. Obviously less sharp than the rear camera, but compared to other front cameras, is doing very well. Maybe the most surprising feat on the entire specification sheet is that the X626 is capable of 4K 30 frames per second video recording. And clearly this is far from the best 4K recording you can get from a phone, but it's there, it works, and this is an ultra high resolution compared to what most budget phones are doing. Taking a deeper dive at the user interface here, it seems like one huge mismatch. The font looks inspired by HTC, some of the icons LG, the multitasking menu from Apple, and the settings menu from Samsung. Now, even though this does make it sound like a bit of a mess, it works. Granted, it doesn't have the most consistent identity, but it is seriously snappy, clean to look at, and fairly light in terms of bloatware, so it is tough to complain. Now, unfortunately, the device is based off Android 6.0, and there is almost a 0% chance of any update. So that is a fairly backwards version of Android, considering that Android 8.0 is now starting to roll out, but at the same time, for a budget-constrained user, that should not be a deal-breaker. The battery, sitting at 3000 mAh, is more or less bang on average. You can comfortably get a day of usage out of the phone, but don't expect too much more than that. Now, display. We've actually got a 5.5-inch 1080p LCD panel, which, to be honest, is nothing special, but it is a sharp display with decent enough colours and viewing angles. The colour temperature here is a little bit on the cool side, but nonetheless it's pretty good for videos and media. You've probably also realised by this point that it's not actually borderless as it appears when the screen is off. Turning the screen on, there is a pretty substantial rim that goes around the whole display on all 4 sides. It's clearly not the most impressive feature of the device, but at the same time it would be hugely unreasonable to expect anything close to an edge-to-edge display. Unfortunately, the speaker leaves a lot to be desired. Despite the phone's support for lossless audio, the single mono downwards firing speaker is a little tinny and caps out at a pretty low volume. Plugging in headphones though is a totally different story, and they sound pretty great. Alright, so that is the Li Echo LE3 X626, and it is really impressive. The fact that it would still be a good phone if it cost twice as much is not something you can say for many handsets out there. The design is well
kā netīru vazaņķu, un šī ņemta augsts kā Elīna Garanč. Es turētu pat harēm kā emīrs vai karalis, un tur nebūtu krokodīli vai neglīts ragans. Es arī bez zaķu magnētu varu nokoļīt pārīt, jo es audzēju bārdiņu, braucu uz bāriņa Hārlī, bet atpakaļ jau dodos ar bārbiju uz krāniņu. Tev ir vil? Es atnākšu uz pārtī kā Čārlijs Mansons, pirmkārt izdzeršu to viskiju visu, tad sākšu tur izgriezt un izsist visus, bet līdus pametīšu suņiem kā frisbee disku. Man patīk iet uz klubiem un dzirdīt tās mauciņas, kamēr viņas visas ir ķirsī kā kauliņi. Tad es viņas velku tā viltīgu uz autiņu. Man patīk hedonisks piškas un erotisks kisks, kas nedod viņas pist, bet es paņem ar spēku. Man ellē gaida sots, ko es saņemšu par grēku, jo es ienešu šķīstītavā kaņepes un krēku. Man nevajag rokas, jo es tevi paņemu ar repu. Tā ir mistika, kā es grozu vārdus kā kickflips. Slepkavības scēnas priekš manis ir kā pikniki, jo es ēdu līčus tā kā sarkofāgi. Beigta miesa priekš manis ir kā marmelādi. Man pa barabānu es ārdos vakarā, pa kvartālu garām bāram ar vākot karavānu, velkot artrosi pavadājis farkopa narkomāns, kamēr viņi pārto par karbonādu. To redzot, jūs visi kļūstat kartonbāli, tava seja būs bez krāsas kā argona gāzes, tais pauzi kā kerčs. Un tad es griežu vārdus virpulī kā smerčs, man smēles mežs, plēš mežģīns kā vējš mežs, kā lesbis cenās, lesbis vēlās un mēli pa pežu, kamēr mežģi mēlās, stop bremzes lēnāk, mentu sētā bēgam. Nē, dirsā paraut tos gomiks, es skrienu ātrāk kā musari, var pabraukt ar bobiku, tu esi lelle kā tofiks, ej ellē man pofigu uz tevi, un visu tavu LV hop-hip. Esmu vilks, kas ir iznācis no meža uz kūti, tava peža to jūt, tā kā deža bļet vūtu, vari sajust to gaisā kā Phils Collins. Tu nervozēs, uzvilks kā preži uz nūjas, mēs dedzinam būdas, ne, mēs nezinām kļūdas. Lielība ir nevietā, jo letiņi reti bliež, tu triec gājējus ar 7-4-5, bet es triecu debeskrāpjus ar 7-4-7 radīts sociālismā, kā AK-47, tu tiksi apraksts dzīves un panikos kapā, savās dusmās būdams smieklīgs kā saniknoti šakāļi, tavs bēru sludinājums būs anekdošu lapā, tavai dzīvei nav vērtības, to vari droši pakāst. Jūs esat kā parafīns, kas uz prīmusiem kūst, man rīmas kā antifrīzes uz mīnusiem plūst. No Teotivakanas līdz pat Kvalalumpurai manas metaforas un rīmas samaļūs putrā, tavs naids pret mums tikai padara mūs krutāks. Ko?
Tā, nu, vai žoļā, jā?
Jā, davai.